Well, obviously, extremely excited for everybody in the organization, players, coaches, support staff, that we were able to win the game, and all the people's time, effort, and hard work that went into it. Certainly had a good 9 months here in our first year, but I do think the margin of error was really big out there Saturday, and we have lots of things to clean up from a discipline and detail standpoint. And we'll have a chance here with the bye week 2 to really make improvement. Most of the really good teams improved the most from game 1 to 2, and certainly with 40% of our roster being new, we'll have an opportunity to maybe have a compound effect there. But the message in general for our team is that the good teams don't give you crap, and we need to eliminate turnovers, penalties, mental errors, lows. We have to realize the consequences of not being fundamentally sound, playing with poor eye discipline, having mental errors and lows, and some of the poor communication that we had Saturday. So sometimes we want to sweep it under the rug when we win in that fashion, but at the same time, it's critical that we have integrity about our approach, and we're really looking at and evaluating the design of the play, the execution of the play, the techniques and fundamentals within the play, and not necessarily the result, which is our big message here as we try to make improvement in the open date. So with that being said, we're happy with getting the win, but we know we have work to do here.
Thank you very much, Coach. As a reminder to our members of media, *1 to get in the queue to ask questions. Our first questions come from Dan McDonald with The Advocate. Dan, please go ahead.
Morning, Coach. One area I don't think a lot of people talked about was how nobody really mentioned much how well your offensive line played. After that first series, it looked like the rest of the first half they sort of controlled the game for you. Is that kind of what you got after you got a chance to look at it?
Well, the big message going into the game was that Grambling was multiple in their front 7 looks, a little bit unique in their approach, very aggressive, a lot of 5- and 6-man pressures. And we needed to play with good balance, really good technique in terms of our first and second step, playing under control and playing with power and really cover up the first level of the defense. And I think for the most part we did that. Now, we did have a few, precision issues with the backs, with the center at times, but overall, I was pleased with that group, but I do think that there's a handful of players up there that have lots of room for improvement.
Can you talk a little bit about your about the running game and how you were able to move the football on the ground?
Well, 7.3 an attempt, for the running backs, which is a good day at the park. I think that really when you're able to rush the ball, everything else is easier. And certainly you've got the defensive coordinator concerned with, stopping the run. That makes the, outside, the throw game, the perimeter screen game, all of those are a little bit simpler for your quarterback. And certainly we benefited from that at quarterback. But that being said, that's our identity, and that's who we want to be on offense. We want to rush the football effectively each week. We certainly have a good group of running backs, multiple players that can play really winning football for us, and we want to feature those guys.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, Dan, and thank you, Coach. That is all the questions we have for you today. We do appreciate your time.